Your final competitor is your six-time reigning and defending Olympia champion, the Gift, Phil Heath.
All right, Dan Solomon along with Sean Ray, and we are watching the #1 bodybuilder on the planet. Phil Heath, a six-time Mr. Olympia champion, makes his way to the stage for the first time tonight. He debuted all the way back in 2006, and since then, he has gone on to have an extraordinary career. Tonight, he looks for Olympia win #7, and Sean Ray, if he is able to do that, we will have to say, move over, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You've got company.
Absolutely. This is the guy that's won over in India. He's won the Arnold Classic over in Europe, and he's won here 6 times. And this is what he does. He wins, wins, and wins.
Dimension, that 3-dimension, that thickness, that separation, those remarkable lines that have made him the best bodybuilder in the world. They are back here tonight in 2017. A lot of folks were wondering coming in, which version of Phil would we see? There's been times where he's trying to play the size game to some extent. Then there's been times where he's gone all in on conditioning. He and his trainer, Hani Rambod, they're very smart. They're very good at what they do. They take a very intelligent approach. So I'm gonna ask you, Sean Ray, how do you feel about this year's strategy in 2017?
Well, it's clearly working. I mean, this Phil is in the hunt. I mean, this is Phil's show, right? I mean, last night we were talking, he's got to have better control of the midsection. After that, there was nothing else really to talk about in terms of weaknesses. Look at his delts, look at his arms. His back is ridiculous. I mean, there's not a lot to criticize when you have a genetic freak, a former basketball player. The hamstrings are just hanging off the back of his thighs. His calves are right there with the best of them. I don't know where you pick apart Phil Heath. You may talk about not having control over his stomach throughout his routine, but when you turn around to the rear, we're talking half the body. Look at the hamstrings, the glutes, the crevasses through the traps, and the deltoids. When he stands next to Big Ramy, Ramy's gonna have to have an answer for that. If he doesn't, Phil's walking off to #7.
Sean Ray, let's make no mistake about it. Coming off prejudging, there were some questions. And he comes into this knowing that he still has some work to do. Because there are people out there might even be people on that judging panel who are questioning whether or not Phil has done enough to take out Big Ramy and the other competitors.
Well, by himself, he's done plenty.
What's up, authentic fam? I'm right here with the big man, Phil Heath, 7-time Mr. Olympia. If I gotta tell you all that, man, you ain't reading the right books. But I just want to ask one of the most winningest Mr. Olympias of all time, Phil. The people want to know, will you ever?
Are you coming back?
Will we ever see you on the Olympia stage competing again?
Fully healed from those hernia surgeries, and that to me suggests that he might not be done competing.
I'm commentating this year, but you know what? You always leave a little bit of room. You leave a room. Hey, you never know. They might drop me a bag.
Come back to bodybuilding.
I'll be back this year just commentating, and we'll take it from there.
Okay.
Right now, I don't really have interest in it, to be quite honest. I'm not going to lead people along, but anything's possible, man. You know, you gotta leave a percentage of yourself to say anything's possible. Okay. But you know, for right now, I'm really making sure that I also prep to commentate these amazing athletes, to edify them properly, because they truly haven't been given their due, their justice. That's really my focus, outside of the other business stuff. But yeah, when it comes to competing, you know, I mean, 7-time, man. Absolutely. But you know, like I said, if I were to ever do it again, I mean, I think they would feel the seismic wave in that gym all around the world, because I would definitely produce a lot of energy. But it's a lot of commitment. It's a commitment that only I and a few other people would really know.
Whatever, yeah. Of course, to reach it to that level.
But I love the fans. I love them dearly. I'll be in Vegas, but before then, I mean, they're going to catch me on YouTube doing a bunch of other cool stuff. They're going to hit me up on social media. I'm going to be available to answer their questions from a 7-time perspective. So
Exactly.
that's really where my gift really lies, is to make sure that they get a piece of me in a different way.
I mean, that's interesting that you said that, because I'm hearing nothing but good things about you as a commentator, and I think that's surprising a lot of people. I don't know why that would surprise them, but but that's what I'm hearing, is that it's surprising that you're doing such a good job and that you're being non-biased about it. They're saying that you're doing a great job of giving the focus to the athletes and not ever bringing up yourself or what you accomplished or comparing them to you. And I mean, that's just amazing, because they all want to be where you've been. I mean, at the end of the day, nobody is going to the Olympia and not wishing that they could be where you've been. And to win it once is amazing, but
it's a decade of dominance that I created. And
that's what I'm trying to say.
And in order for people to stay in tune with the show itself, I don't need to talk about myself. 7 times is 7 times. If they want to ask my perspective on certain things, yeah, sure. But I'm going to be looking at the show as a fan,
right,
but given a different lens that only I and a few other people, like I said, would have. So if I just talk about, oh yeah, back in my day, this is what I would have done, now I'm making it all about me.
Exactly.
And that's not about it. It's about them.
Exactly.
And look, I mean, I can put all ego and all self-centeredness aside now, because if I'm not competing, it's not about me. But if I'm competing, I'm going to talk that stuff.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
I'm going to have that fire. But it's all about the people, man. It's all about the experience that they are having. And I really wish them all the best. I want them to continue to stay healthy, stay motivated, stay encouraged. And I want them to be highly competitive, because if they don't, that's what's going to probably upset me during that commentary.
That brings me to 2 questions I want to, because people are waiting to talk to you. But just 2 quick questions I got to ask you. Number 1, how do you feel about the state of bodybuilding right now? I mean, I feel like the Open is looking better than it has in a long time. So I want to ask you that. And the last thing I want to ask you is, who are you looking at right now that you think has an amazing potential? Like, personally, I'm looking at Andrew Jack. I mean, the dude that just won the Texas Pro. I mean, that first show, that's amazingly promising.
So you got to see him next to Andrew Jack.
Yeah, we got it. That's my next guy I got to talk about, because I was at the Texas Pro and people were just raving about him. And he does have this, it's a very unique physique. 6'2", 292 with aesthetics, a small waist, round, bubbly muscles. Condition, he wasn't even really targeting that show, him and George Farrer. They're getting ready for the Arnold UK. Just sort of said, well, we're looking good enough. Why don't we do this? People were talking about him being a threat for Rami at the Olympia. And I think he's good enough for sure to already be in the top 5 or 6. I just want to know where you think he fits in to the Olympia, assuming he brings better condition.
I think you look great. Again, I'm going to look at it through a different lens than most other people, so I'm going to leave it at he looked great. No, he did. I mean, and he earned his way. He actually served a lot of people notice. In fact, I think a lot of the other people that placed lower should probably quit, because anytime you have a newcomer that just came out of the gate
first
and
pro
won
show
you and beat you,
you
should probably reevaluate why you're doing this. If it's just to, for fun or whatever, but if you're really having that, I'm going to be Mr. Olympia, and you've been doing this for 10 plus years, you've been getting your ass whipped by a guy that just came out from the amateurs.
He was an amateur yesterday.
Yeah. Then you should probably reevaluate and do something different and go the hell home. That's me. That's how I feel. But see, a lot of people don't understand how I look at it. But as far as the sport of bodybuilding, I mean, the open class, I definitely feel has a lot of potential. I just think they need to be highly competitive. They have to be more complete. I still think my era was probably better than the current stuff, because you had Kai Green, Dennis Wolf, Victor, Dexter, and this guy named Jay Cutler, along with many others, Ronnie Rockel. You had, Branch Warren. I'm sorry. You had all these different types of athletes. So I think they have their work cut out for them. There's a lot of young guys on the rise, but we'll see. I'm not going to, like I said, I'm not going to make it about myself or my era like other people did when I was coming up.
Exactly.
I want them to compete very high, and I want them to evolve and make it about themselves. Don't compare yourselves to our stuff. Like, our stuff was our stuff.
Yeah, bring something new. Because, I think that's what you did, and I know nobody will agree with me, but just for me personally, the 94 Phil Heath, for me, was amazing. But that's just because that's my personal body goals. You get what I'm trying to say?
Well, at the end of the day, I brought what I brought, and that's not going to happen.
Yeah, but you brought it every year.
Well, that's something where I'll say this, and I got to get going, is that they should probably be calling me up or something. You would think the new guys would do that. You know how, Kobe would hit up Jordan? not one person has hit me up to ask, like, so how did you do it?
We'll give a formal invite. It's right here. We got a formal invite right here.
I've been doing it for years.
Okay.
But I'm not begging.
No, absolutely not.
When I always say, when the student is ready, the teacher will arise.
Well, I would love to see that, man. But thank you for your time.
No problem, man.
Phil
All the best
Heath,
to you, man.
appreciate you, man. You've been one of my favorites forever, if not my favorite forever.
Thank you.
And it's sad that you're gone, but hopefully somebody else will come up and do something amazing as well.
If they did something amazing, maybe I'll come back.
All right, guys, we're out of here.
Space talk. Boy, go out there and you can't imagine. High up in the sky, high like I'm Aladdin. Running out the race, running like it's magic. Ballin' all these haters, ballin' like the magic. Right in the leg, hoes in the back, Carter, he rollin' the back. I got a guap, I got a sack, I got these hoes on my sack. I got some drugs, I got a plug, devil, he holdin' me back. I do not cuff, I do not wife, I'ma just run out the sack. You can't imagine these racks I'm adding, these drugs I'm having. Yeah, fuck your fashion. Yeah, fuck your fashion. Green in my pocket, looking like a salad. Hoes in the H, ain't got hoes in Dallas. Fucking haters, bitches, yeah, that shit my passion. Hit your bitch up now.